Jiro here from Umbra Games with a review of Forza Horizon 5, available on Xbox, as Microsoft likes to call it, meaning you can play it with varying degrees of performance and load times on anything Xbox One and up, or PC. It was released November 4th, 2021, and day one on Game Pass. Played on an Xbox Series X for the review. I was a pretty big fan of the first Horizon game, with each following entry, 2 jamming DLC super hard down our throats, and then 4 and 5 are pretty much the same game just set in a different locale, and seem to have more of a focus on multiplayer and picking up and playing against whomever you want, whenever you want. That's when network features are working, but I digress. Let me step back. The Forza Horizon series takes place in various locations around the world, with the concept based around a racing festival called Horizon. 5 takes place in Mexico. Now, you always start as an unknown driver, and as you complete events around an open world map, you increase your car collection and notoriety in the festival, with, in 5's case, the ultimate goal being to be part of the Horizon Hall of Fame. Activities can be found on the map, and you can set a waypoint, which will give you an objective distance floating in the sky, and also color the roads on your minimap to show you your suggested route. There are 5 main categories, I'm using air quotes, of campaign events that you can open and participate in. There are also smaller stunt and speeding type activities that you can work to obtain a star ranking on. I think there's actually quite a bit more even to do through daily challenges and labs and festival events, and a ton of stuff that rotates in and out. But I'll be honest, I didn't really dive into any of that. I personally struggle a bit getting deep into games that function more as a live service instead of just in for the campaign. Completing content rewards accolade points. You get partial points for completing and more points if your team actually wins. As your accolade meter fills up, it will award you with the ability to open a new expedition or showcase, selected from event cards. There are also chapter events in these that are optional for your campaign progress, and are mostly forced solo events with some narrative. Races generally consist of 12 racers in any combination of player and CPU-driven numbers, and are either a one-way trip with progress percentage or a set of laps. You'll be forced to go in between checkpoint flags or smoke signals, and if you miss one, we'll have to either use the rewind feature to a time before, or after 3 seconds the game will warp you back. One thing to keep in mind in multiplayer, if you rewind, everybody else keeps going, whereas single player, everyone else rolls back too. Weather conditions will play a pretty significant role in the racing as well, from rain-slicked roads to some off-roading mud pits. You'll definitely feel the difference. Barn finds return. Throughout the game, you'll hear a call on the radio that there's a rumor of a rare and abandoned beat-up vehicle sitting in a barn somewhere, and a sizable circle is plopped on your map, and you can search that area to uncover it. Now, as you perform tricks and skills, you'll level up your character, and each time you fill the meter, you'll get a spin on the prize wheel. Prizes include money, horn sounds, and cars, but are also inundated with emotes, hats, jackets, and other accessories for your Drivatar character, which you see at the beginning of races during the loading screen and on the podium at the end of the event. Leveling up also gives you skill points you can apply to a specific car for bonuses like experience bonus for finishing a race, experience bonuses for particular tricks, letting you keep a skill chain going even after taking a hit, and instant delivery of experience, cash, or wheel spin. Additional cars can be purchased through the shop with in-game credits and real money, and you're also awarded vehicles for completing various accolades. The fast travel system remains in place with a handful of hubs and houses you can fast travel to for a credit price. You can reduce this price by smashing the fast travel boards found across the map. There are also experience boards you can hit as well. I'm actually having a little deja vu so far, so I apologize. I feel like this is pretty much the exact same things I had to say about Forza Horizon 4 in that review. When you begin an event, all other racers, which they take your friend and contact list and throw their name on top of a car even when you're by yourself so you feel like you're racing against other people, will all be in a similar class of car. Cars range from, I think it's D to S2, and within those ranks have a numbered score that determine that rank. So if you jump in an A rank car, pretty much all your competition will have something in the A ranking and usually topped out of that class, so we'll say 798. So anything you have in the low 700s is probably not going to stand up to the competition. So while I ended up with like 70 cars unlocked, I could pretty much only use a handful that were near the top of the rank. I believe there's some tuning and whatnot you can do to change car ranking and some smaller attribute changes, but never really been too much into that with car games. So yeah, in recent games, the campaign has been fairly disappointing for someone like myself. On the flip side, if you want to be able to jump in and just play with friends, you can join a convoy. The leader can select events, and any person in the convoy can borrow the leader's car for that event. So if you're wanting to just drop in and out there, the game is super friendly for that. We did have quite a few problems with Convoy Connections though. There were certain events we literally couldn't start because that one event would time out. One of the expeditions functioned the same way. Doing it in a convoy would hang up eternally on a black screen after a cutscene. Every time I tried to start a club in the few months that we played, we did sessions every other week or so, it would tell me the server wasn't available. When you're playing multiplayer, you can do straight versus or you can do co-op, where you and your teammates get points for every car they're in front of, with some bonus points for finishing first. So the team aspect of it is actually pretty great. Graphically, Playground Games continues to impress. From the diverse sandy shores to the thick forests to the mountains and volcano, this game is an eyeful. So beautiful, down to every small plant waving in the breeze to the reflections in puddles on the roads. Cars look and sound amazing and also show damage. While weather has always been around in the series, the Mexican sandstorms you can get tied up in specifically were pretty amazing. As mentioned, you have a radio with several station options, and you'll likely find something you can listen to there. Forza Horizon 5 is beautiful, from its cars to its landscapes. There are a ton of vehicles to unlock, also a lot of clothes and emotes for your driver only seen during loading scenes and cutscenes. The game has continued to keep away from a more traditional campaign to a game as a service, offering alterable events and new content every so often, a handful of event types, lots of trackable objectives. It's fully co-op when the network works, and allows for racing convoys or whole instance world participation. The open world is here with collectibles too. Rated as an open world racing game on my personal scale, where 0 is the worst, 100 is perfect, and 50 is your average game, Forza Horizon 5 hits a 72 out of 100. This is Jiro for Umbra Games. Thanks for watching.